Hey readers, welcome to The Club,
the unfiltered book club podcast where we discuss all things fantasy, romance, pop culture, and our favorite topic, ourselves. We're your hosts, Ashlyn Clark
and Katie Hoyt. Thank you so much for listening. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to The Club. I'm one of your hosts, Katie Hoyt, and I'm here with my girl, Ashlyn. Ash, what's up?
You know, not much. I just got my graduation headshots made for medical school, and I'm just feeling a little sentimental, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready to be done. But after the shit with Match last week or 2 weeks ago now, I'm ready to put it behind me.
She's got to go.
Yeah.
It was a fun ride, but like,
it was quite a ride. And the good thing is, like, it did bring good people together. Like, you got to come, Hoyt got to come hang out. We got to go get really good food at this brewery. I don't know if you liked yours or not. I never really followed up.
Oh my God. No, it was so good. It was so good. I would get it again.
Okay.
Except for Hoyt was supposed to add chicken to it and he didn't, but that's okay because he said it was $8 to add chicken? And
I feel like that's usually like a $4 item to add.
Oh, anyway, I was fine with it after he said that. But okay, so we're going to get into that. But basically, you guys, what this episode is just we wanted to do an episode where we just kind of catch up. We know that not everybody, all of our friends and family read, so we wanted to do something that's just a little bit more fun, not necessarily focused around books, and we feel like this will shorten our book episodes a little bit to where we're not doing so much of a personal catch up.
The goal is to do one book episode a month. That was already our goal before, but now we're going to add in a monthly wrap up. So this is March 30th, so probably will come out in April, but we're going to try to do a wrap up every month where we just like talk about shit that happened, catch up, and then that way at the beginning of every book episode we don't have 45 minutes of us just like talking to each other. Hopefully. I mean, who knows? We'll figure it out on our next book episode, but those are the plans. And I'm really excited to just talk about normal things because a lot of my friends want to listen to the podcast but don't want to read the books or haven't had time to, and so this kind of gives us time to just hang out, do another episode, and then more people can listen to it and not be so lost.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And then we also have like a running list of more kind of like general book related topics that are more like funny, not so, like into books. But we have kind of a running list of some other type of episodes that we want to do. So hopefully we can create some of those and just provide more content for the people who aren't keeping up with us month to month and reading, the book that we have chosen.
Right. So I'm super happy to be here. Sorry, I just launched into like my personal discussion.
No, that's okay. It was a big day, honestly. I don't want to downplay it.
Yeah, it was
kind of...
But it was kind of lackluster. Like I walked in there, like full glam. Like if anyone's watching on YouTube, like this is the glam. Walked in and he was like, okay, put this on. And we snapped like 6 photos. He was like, do you like all of these? Do you want to get more? And I was like, no, I like them. And he was like, okay. And then we were done.
Bye.
Yeah, I think I was there for a total of like 8 minutes. It was perfect, but it was really weird. It was like really weird how quickly it flew. So
yeah, it's kind of like in college when you would go get the like sorority photo. What are those called? The composite photos. They literally like fling you in there, throw on the drape, you smile, and then they're like, okay, bye. Like school picture.
Like you haven't even processed
kind of what it feels like
to you, and you're already out the door.
No.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. So, so last time we did the podcast, it was like right before match day. It was a Sunday, and then we found out on Monday if we matched or not. And I had said on the podcast, like, it's so funny listening back now that I was like not planning for soap. I was like super excited to just, get Monday behind me. And we had like a ton of match events planned. Well, it turns out you can go to my TikTok to learn more about this situation. But basically, I had to apply to 2 separate programs, one for my intern year, just a general internal medicine year, and then to radiation oncology, which is my advanced degree. And that's 2 separate applications. So you can match both. you can match neither, or you can match one or the other. And so I ended up not matching into a prelim position, which was like not on my radar. Like, did not ever expect that. So I kind of had to scramble around last week. I missed out on a lot of the match week festivities because of it, which is neither here nor there. Like, I wasn't going to go to all of them anyway. There were so many things to do. But so Monday happened. I got the email that said you match into radiation oncology, but you have to SOAP into this position. So I go to school. I'm at school all day, like preparing a new application from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday combined, I did 15 interviews. They were rapid fire.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah, it was like probably an average of like 10 or 15 minute interviews. They were so quick.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like structured. Like, whenever you interview for a residency, it's like through this ERAS portal, and you can add it to your schedule on there. I was getting phone calls at 7 p.m. saying, hey, do you want to interview for this spot? And I would say, yeah, when? And they would say, now, on the phone right now.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was crazy. I was at one of the nighttime match week events. Like, we had like a wine night. I was like, well, I'll just go take the edge off. This was Tuesday night. And I was like, I'll just go take the edge off and like kind of chill. And then at 7 and 8 p.m. I got phone call interview. So I had to like leave the event and like go stand in the hallway and answer the calls. It was like so crazy. Anyway, all that to say, on Thursday, you find out like if you got offers to any places. So I did get offered to stay here in Birmingham, which I was super happy about. So we're staying in Birmingham for one more year, and then we moved to Salt Lake City, Utah, which I'm legit, I could not be more excited for.
Same.
I know Katie is like very, very much a Utah girly.
Yes. I have been, honestly, Ash, like, do you not feel like we've kind of been manifesting this for years now?
Totally.
For years. Because I remember, like, you had brought it up a couple years ago that it was, like, an option. And we're like, obviously me and Hoyt are, like, super encouraging. Like, you would love it out there. It's great. We love it. You should go. And I always, like, had that in the back of my mind. But you always kept saying, like, I think I'm going to stay in Birmingham. So it felt a little bit like a pipe dream. Like,
yes, it totally
Salt Lake
did.
to still come through.
Yeah.
But in the end, she won out, and
the hard part was like it winning me over, because like I always had this idea like out west would be perfect for us. You know, Jake and I did our honeymoon over there in Utah.
Yeah.
And so then I got matched with a mentor who just so happened to be a resident there. And so like it just like kept coming up, because I remember like at the very beginning of med school, you and I were talking and we were like, where should I go to residency? Like, should I stay here? Should I leave? So we did like this random quiz of like, which U.S. city do you belong in? Do you remember this? And we both got some city in Colorado. I cannot remember what it was. I don't think it was Boulder.
It was like, no, I think it was like Colorado Springs or
Colorado
something
Springs,
like
that's
that.
exactly what it was. Colorado Springs. We're both like, oh my God, we're just like Western girls, like blah, blah, blah.
We so are.
And so then when I got matched with the mentor from Utah, I told Katie. So Katie's husband used to live in Utah, like right north of Salt Lake City. So they've both been a lot. And she was like, I actually think that you would really like it. And that was kind of the first seed. I just had to like actually get over the fear of moving out there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And especially because like you've lived in Florida before, which was a far like drive, but it's still in your general part of the country.
Yeah,
so
southeast.
It wasn't anything like
somewhere close.
Right. It wasn't anything crazy, but like west is like not a short ways away. And it's especially because of climate changes and cultural changes. Like, it's just not the South. Like, it's a lot to get over. So getting to that point, I feel like is the biggest kind of like
it's
leap
like
that
it's
you're
like a
gonna
cognitive like you have to like make the decision and just go for it, because the West is different. Like when I moved to Florida,
she's not the same.
No, when I moved to Florida, it was like a long drive. It was like a 9-hour drive with traffic. Okay.
Yeah.
You can do it in a day. Here to Utah, it's like 28 hours. And so that's just like not a fun trip. And then even if you fly, there's no direct flights to Birmingham unless you fly like Frontier. Like, I'm not doing that for long. So crazy. So, and then a couple of my friends matched out west. So one of my roommates was from she's from California. She matched in California. And then another one of my friends, she's from Alabama, matched in Texas. And we're all really, really good friends. And so we were all like, oh my God, we're all going out west. This is so fun. And then we start looking up the distances. We're still all 20 hours apart.
It's not
the same.
Like, no.
It is not the same.
No. It's like the states out there are so large, and here they're not. So if you're one state away, that's just a couple hours. It's a day trip. You can go one state away out there. You're in the car for 10, 12 hours.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I was like, no way that Texas to Utah is 20 hours. And sure enough, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So we learned our lesson on planning trips. We just have to fly no matter where. But
yeah,
it'll be good.
Oh, well, it is what it is. And especially because, like, you're only going to be out there for 4 years. And it's not like you've signed sealed your fate. You're going to be out there for the rest of your life. Like, I think it helps, too, when you move somewhere far away that you have a dedicated time frame. Like, even if you get out there and you don't like it, which I don't foresee that happening, but even if it were to happen, you're like, it's 4 years. Like, I can do it. We can fly home at any point in time. It's not impossible. You can still fly there in a day. So I don't have any issues with it. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I do think that, like, the overall theme of my family that day was a little somber. They were like kind of reconciling because they didn't know. I told Katie on Monday because I found out on Monday.
Yeah.
Since I didn't.
Oh, talk about that because you weren't supposed to find out on Monday.
Yes. Let me talk about that. So what happens on Monday usually is you get a email that says you matched or you didn't. Well, since I applied to 2 different programs, it will say you matched or you didn't to each one. But since I didn't match to one, the thought process is like, we'll tell her the location, not the program, but the location of the program that you did match to, so that whenever you're looking for your other program during SOAP this week, you can like plan geographically. Well, there's only one program in Salt Lake City, so it's not like it was hard to figure out which one I matched to. And I actually didn't even notice. I was just like so distraught that I had to go through SOAP. I sent that email to Jake's mom, and she called me and was like, "You're moving to Utah?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like driving to med school right now, trying to figure my life out. She's like, "Your email says Salt Lake City." So I pulled that back up and I'm freaking out. I'm texting Katie and like letting like just my small circle know. So my dad and my mom didn't know because I wanted to have some sort of surprise on Friday because I figured out where I was going to go for my intern year on Thursday. So like literally Friday, all of my friends were finding out where they were going to go live, and I already knew, but at least I got to surprise my family, even though they weren't like thrilled. They're excited for me. Don't get me wrong. They are excited for me, but they're not excited for themselves.
Yeah. I feel like for parents, like it is difficult, especially if you've had a child that's always lived like relatively close to you. It's just like a big life change. But babes, let me tell you, nobody could kill my vibe that day.
Katie was legit so excited.
Literally, let's talk about match day, because what a thrilling experience. I literally had so much fun just watching. Like, I just sat in a state of just like perpetual like Cheshire cat smile on my face,
tears in my eyes.
It was so, y'all, like which I'm like a highly like I guess sensitive person. Like I feel like I can just like sense people's emotions. There was so much emotion in the room, like families literally screaming and crying and hugging and so happy. It was the best day. If you've never been to a medical school match day, you gotta go. Like
it was crazy. And so on actual match day at 11 a.m. you get an email. Well, Central, I don't know, wherever you're at. You get an email and it says, you open it and it says like what specialty you match to and where. But a lot of people choose to not open it then. And whenever you go on stage and announce it, you can choose to open it on stage. Well, that was mine and Jake's original plan, was that we're going to have the big surprise. But that plan got foiled. So a lot of my friends like announced in front of hundreds and hundreds of people, like found out in the moment, announced it. It was such a crazy experience.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. And I am going to say that, like, I'm glad that I ended up matching in Birmingham because now we have a little bit longer to plan for the move. And intern year is just, like, so much busier than the rest of my residency will be. And that's a good time for Jake to still be near a support system for him because I'm going to be, like, on the clock. Like, I'm not going to be available, really.
Yeah. That's a really good point. And I had thought previously about, like, now you have like a year and 3 months to plan everything for Utah. Like, you have so much time. You can take more trips out there to visit, look at the locations that you want to live. It feels a little bit less stressful now, even though that week it was definitely not a stress-free environment. It was like chaotic. I just kept calling. Yeah, I kept calling Hoyt, and I was like, I'm dying to know what's happening, but I was trying so hard not to text you or, like, ask questions or anything because I didn't want to add to any of the stress, especially, like, initially, because I think you just text me, like, the photo with no
I, like, didn't even
as far as, like, you match.
So let me tell you how crazy that was because so we get that email at 9 a.m., like, our time. Mm-hmm. They were like, hey, if you soap, be at the med school at 9:30. So I opened my eyes. Jake woke me up and said, hey, it's 9. I opened my eyes because I couldn't sleep the night before because I was so nervous.
Yeah.
So I finally go to sleep at 3 a.m. I open my eyes. It's 9 a.m. I opened the email and I just said, fuck. And he goes, what? I said, I have to go to the med school. I'm soaping. He's like, what? So I show him the email while I'm, like, throwing on clothes. I literally had no time to get my bearings. So I just, like, sent a screenshot of the photo to, like, you, Jake's mom, and then my med school friends just to, like, let them know.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. One thing good did come of it, though. I kind of had a little TikTok moment.
Oh, my God. You did it. That one video.
Let me pull it
up.
So
it was so good. You had several that got, like, a ton of views.
Yes.
And, like, comments and people asking questions about, like, the whole process and how it worked.
Yeah, because so to say that I was a little bit salty was, like, a fucking understatement. So I made one TikTok and it got 37.9 thousand views. And I was like, oh, people, like, are interested in this. That's updated today. I think at that point it had, like, 10,000. So I posted another one and it got 150. And people were, like, asking me questions over and over. So I started responding to the questions and those both got, like, in the 30s. And then once it was all said and done, I, like, went out to this, like, match day event and posted a TikTok there. And that one is at 376.8 thousand. So I'm feeling like Miss Popular over here. I will tell you that.
Yeah. People were, like, invested in your journey.
And now my journey is over. I feel a little bit irrelevant, but that's okay. Like, I had my moment in the sun. It was a really nice balance to the, like, psychotic week. Like, at least something good came out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, lots of good things happen. In the end, I truly feel like your experience, like, you still get to go to a place that you wanted to go to for the year in between. So, like, you get to stay in Birmingham. It's not like you have to move somewhere else and then move to Utah. Like, all in all, it was a stressful week, but it wound up being fine in the end.
Yeah. It was perfect. It ended up being perfect. It was divine intervention. I keep telling myself that. Like, there's nothing that you can say to convince me otherwise. And so we're just, like, rolling with the punches now. I'm officially done with in-person medical school, like, rotations. All I have is one more 2-week class where I just go sit, like, and listen to lecture, which I haven't done in so long. Like, sounds exhausting. But it's only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So then I'll be literally done.
Oh, my God. I'm so freaking excited. When does your year at Brookwood start?
I graduate med school on May 20th, and then my year starts on June 19th.
Okay.
So I have
a
month.
nice little Yeah. Do you have any, like, plans how you're going to fill that time?
No. So Jake and I were talking about maybe going on a trip, but we went to New York and Boston over Christmas time, and we spent an ungodly amount of money. And so we're still paying off that credit card. So if it is in the financial cards, we will do something. I know we had originally talked about doing Yosemite at some point. But y'all are now going to Arizona, and we just, like, could not commit. So maybe we were talking about maybe like just
Yeah.
driving up to like Gatlinburg in Kentucky and like doing some like hikes there.
Yeah.
But we don't really have anything set in stone right now. And then we got to find a house to move into. So,
Oh, true. True, true.
but
Yeah.
we're
You'll have
hoping to
plenty
do
of-
that like in April.
Okay.
soon.
Well, you've got plenty of time. Yeah. And the class is only, is it like all day, every day for the 2 weeks?
I think it's like 9 to 3. It's not like all day. And then some days you get out at noon. It just depends on the day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're so close. I
can
honestly
taste
can't
it.
believe that's over.
I know, it's so
yes.
crazy. And like, I don't know. I just feel like it's such an exciting time to like envision me and my friends like playing around in Utah. Should I join Mormon
God.
TikTok? Like, should I go blonde and like really Mormon wife TikTok? They
Yes.
get a lot of views.
Yeah, no, you should. I absolutely cannot freaking wait. I actually mentioned it, but so my husband played baseball in Utah in a place called Ogden. It's just like 40-ish minutes north of Salt Lake City. So he spent like an entire summer out there. I went out there multiple times. We absolutely love it. Like, I cannot freaking wait to go back and like have an excuse. Like,
Yeah. And Ogden is to
why?
me like
Oh, you're going.
cuter than Salt Lake.
Oh my God.
Like it's like a little Hallmark
quaint.
town. Yes.
Well, you said they like actually filmed. Was it like Lifetime?
Yeah, they
movies?
filmed a couple of like Lifetime and Netflix like holiday movies there. Well, that's what someone that was
Yeah.
there told me. But yeah, it was so cute. And we were there, we were walking around to eat, and it starts like just dumping snow. Like it was insane, but it wasn't that cold outside. It was like in the 30s,
Yeah.
but sunny. It was the weirdest experience, but it was so cute.
Oh my God. I'm
But
so
y'all-
freaking excited.
I know y'all are gonna have to come, but I do want to hear about the Arizona trip because I haven't heard about like what the plans are. Like, are y'all doing Grand Canyon? Like, what's up?
Yeah. So we fly out early Tuesday morning. Our flight leaves at 5 a.m., which is perfect because we land at 7 a.m. in
Okay.
Arizona.
Great.
So
after like what, like a
normally-
4-hour flight?
Normally, yeah, 4 hours on the dot. We don't typically do that. Normally we leave like night before and then just like get in late, like feel like absolute shit, and then get up and start going the next day after a good rest. But we're not doing that this time because it is a shorter trip. So fly out there. We're gonna get there, land, and pick up our car, and then you got one guess as to where we're headed first.
Dutch Bros.
That's right. So
Get you a little
we're headed
coffee.
to Dutch Bros. Yeah. We're headed to Dutch Bros, and then we're going to Sedona. We're gonna do just like one hike there. It's kind of a quick one. I think it's only like a couple miles. And then planning to have a little lunch. Then we're gonna stay in Flagstaff that night and have dinner. There's apparently like the Grand Canyon, like northern Arizona area, is a really great place to look at the stars. So there's like this observatory that you can go to. So that's kind of our plan
That sounds
for
awesome.
now.
Like see the like literal Milky Way.
Yeah.
Dad said that. My dad, whenever he went out there, was like,
Yeah.
out west, whenever it gets really dark, if you're like away from the city, you can legit see the Milky Way. So I'm pumped for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited, which who knows, because by the time the stars are out, a bitch will have been up for a while that
Yeah,
day. So
That's true. That's a good point.
We'll
But maybe it'll
see.
happen.
We
Maybe
will see.
maybe you could like nap in one of the car rides.
Yeah, that's true. Or I'm hoping like we'll make it to our it got us like the cutest little, it's like a B&B
Okay.
place to stay in Flagstaff. And so I'm hoping that we can get to the room early, nap, and then like go to dinner. And
Yeah.
so we'll have like a little bit of rest time.
I
But
love a post hike
anyway, so-
nap, like travel day post
oh my
hike nap. Like,
God,
that's great.
after the shower.
Yes.
Oh, so good. But then the next day we are driving to the Grand Canyon. So we're
Southern
gonna,
entrance.
Yeah, the
Okay.
South Rim.
South
Yep.
Rim.
So, that's what she's called. I don't know. But we're just gonna hike for 3 days, and then
Okay, so the Grand
drive
Canyon is
back
like
to
really the
Phoenix.
main focal point of the trip.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So we're gonna do hikes all 3 days, but on the last day, we're going to do just kind of like a shorter hike and then drive. There's like a scenic route that you can drive. So we'll just drive that and then head back to Phoenix and then fly back. I think we land at like 10:30 a.m. We're flying out of Nashville. So then we'll have to drive home, but
it's what, like an hour and a half?
Okay.
So
yeah, it's not that far, and it's direct flights. We don't have any layovers. We are flying Southwest again, which,
well, you know,
one of these days, I'm going to say I'm never flying Southwest again, and I'm going to mean it, but
it's hard whenever there's direct flights. Like, it's really hard to be like, no, I'm going to fly Delta and pay extra and have another leg of my flight. Like, it's really hard to commit to that whenever there's a Southwest one just waiting on you.
Yeah, and they're cheap flights, and it gets you from point A to point B, and you get 2 bags for free. It's so freaking hard.
The 2 bags for free is such a selling point. I wish I didn't have to fight tooth and nail to get a good, like, spot in line whenever you check in.
Oh my God.
But
especially because, like, I already set my alarm to wake me up on Monday morning at 5 a.m. so that I can check in for the flight because it's 24 hours before, which I'm like,
when you have a bad flight time, it's such an
before. Yeah, it's like you should have it either 24 hours before, but if your flight is before 8 a.m., you can check in at 8. Like, don't make me wake up at 5 a.m. to check in for my flight.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jake used to have a Southwest card, and so, like, he could check in an hour before the flight and still be on Group A boarding because he pays for the card. But I got a Delta card, and so now I have free bags, but try to find a Delta flight out of Birmingham.
Yeah,
they're all United or like JetBlue or I have a piece of hair right here or something like. Sorry, I'm like looking at myself in the thing. Like, they're always something weird from Birmingham, and I don't really mind United, but they charge a lot of money for the same flight that you can get for a lot cheaper. And I don't really know what the benefits are because their planes are not that new.
I've actually never flown United. I did have when we flew back from Oregon, and it was like literally the worst day of my entire life. We had to fly American, and I've only flown Delta and Southwest, and I have flown Frontier to Salt Lake City at one time. But an American, so I've never flown United. Can't speak to it. American, it was actually like a pretty decent experience, I will say. So
well, good for them. I think I may have flown an American Airlines flight, but I do not remember. I used to hit up those like $70 Frontier round trip flights to Orlando when Jake lived there and I didn't. But it's like the flight, I think the air time is like 55 minutes. So you can deal with the lack of legroom for that long. Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah, totally. Actually, my Frontier flight, I can remember like I was still in college because Hoyt was playing baseball out there, and I was in grad school. I didn't have a job or anything, so I was just trying to like get the cheapest flight. My mom was paying for it. And I remember getting there and just thinking, like, that actually wasn't bad. I flew direct from Atlanta to Salt Lake City. So it was, like a 3.5, 4 hour flight, maybe. It really was not that bad, which, granted, if I was, like, very large or something,
yeah, the seats seem, like, skinnier and, like, just short leg room.
Yeah, but, it got me there.
Yeah, and it probably was really cheap.
It was really cheap, except for they do that same shit that like Spirit does, where you have to pay for your seat and pay for your bag, and sometimes you have to pay for a carry-on if it's bigger, if it's going in the overhead bin. You know, like
it's like a lot. Yeah,
they get you.
Yeah, you pay in other ways, for sure.
Absolutely.
So what else has been going on?
Anyway,
we probably should move on.
Yeah.
Well, we don't really have plans for the episode. We're just kind of chit-chatting, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But outside of the trip planning, what's been going on with you?
Not much. So also this month I went to Indianapolis, which I spoke about on the book podcast, but it was work truck week, which if you don't know me, I do marketing for, I always say
a dump truck company.
It is a dump truck company, but it actually is like a multitude of companies. So like I work for the parent company and I do the marketing for 9 different brands, and it's a lot. So anyway,
To say she's busy during dump truck week or whatever you said, work truck week,
work truck week, yeah,
is an understatement. That bitch could not even answer the phone. Like, she was busy.
It was it's so insane, which like most of the time my job, I don't have like stress. I'm not like under all this pressure and all these deadlines, but that week, and we prep for it starting in like October, and it's the first week of March. It is insane. It's like, and it's on Eastern time, so you're an hour ahead. So like immediately it's so hard to get up in the morning. Like you get up and you just like go, like run on cortisol the literal entire day until bedtime.
Like, you wake up and your heart rate's already elevated. You're like, shit, here we go.
Yes.
Is work truck week.
So, right. And like, I got to show up for my dump trucks. So anyway, it was insane, but made it back. I really don't have much, like, nothing dramatic happened. Last year, my boss flushed. She had, those like magnet things that can go on the back of your phone, and it holds like your credit cards, and it's got like a pop socket on it. Last year, that fell off of my boss's phone while she was flushing the toilet. She flushed her ID, her personal debit card, her company credit card down the toilet. And she flew.
That would take me a week to recover from. I wouldn't.
Oh my God. It was so bad. Her mom had to mail her passport. The company had to overnight her like a credit card, and then her personal one, fortunately she was on a work trip, so she didn't have to pay for anything like food or anything, but it was, crazy. But this year, nothing really happened except
thank God. That's like 3 years of bad luck in one day. So I'm glad that she survived this year a little bit unscathed. Jesus.
But yeah, so nothing really to report from that, but that took up a whole week of March for me. And then we came and went to your match day. Oh, wait, I do have something to say.
Okay.
So this is just a story, like, I cannot get it out of my head. Is
it about right now?
Beyond... No, oh my God,
okay.
No, but my God, we can bring that up too if you want to.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's just like a story that, like, I keep thinking about it. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like, so what happened the day after your match day? I went to dinner with Allie, and we tried to go to the Battery, that place that you and I went before.
Yes.
We went to see
Y'all
Claudia.
didn't go there?
Oh no, we went. It was an hour wait. So we ended up having to leave.
I'm happy that they're doing well, though.
Oh yeah.
But they were having their like St. Patrick's Day, like green beer, like the whole thing.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True. But people, if you are in Birmingham, there's a place called the Battery in Homewood. Go and get the Brussels sprouts.
If you want a good Brussels sprout in the Birmingham area, that place cannot be beat, cannot be even challenged. Like, they're so good.
Yes. Okay, sorry. Anyway, we leave there. We go to Soho Social. We sit down. We have a lovely,
love Soho
gorgeous
Social,
dinner. It was great. And we sit down, and Allie wanted to get a pretzel for her appetizer. She's like, their pretzel is so good. Well, I'm gluten-free, so I obviously can't have the pretzel, but it comes like with queso. So like what you order is the queso, and then you choose what you want your dipping vessel to be. So she wanted the pretzel. I'm like, no big deal. I'll get just regular tortilla chips. So on the menu, the tortilla chips have their like designated gluten-free little icon on it, but the queso didn't. So I was like, queso should be gluten-free, but it's not. They don't like call it out. So I'm going to ask the girl, like, just to be 100% sure. So our waitress comes over, we order it, and I'm like, is your queso gluten-free? I'm gluten-free, so, like, I can't, I'm just wondering. And she's like, looks me dead in the eye, deadpan. She's 100% serious, and she says, so, gluten is wheat. Queso is cheese. So
Yeah, but what if it's like processed cheese that's like not processed in a gluten-free facility? Like you literally don't know.
I was like, babe, I'm gluten free. I'm well
aware.
What bitch is gonna come up in here declaring that she's gluten free and she don't know what gluten is? Like, I was like, yeah, no, like I'm aware. We're asking is, do you put something else? Like, it doesn't say gluten free, so I just want to be 100% certain that your queso, which should be naturally gluten free because it's cheese, I'm well aware of what queso.
And what if they put like a
is.
thickener in it that's not gluten-free? Like you just like literally don't know.
Right, and I'm dumbfounded by this like interaction. And Allie, God love her, like she so eloquently, so gracefully, like tries to dig a little bit deeper, and she's like, "No, what she's asking is like it doesn't say gluten free. Like, do you add anything to it?" Baby girl doubles down. She's like, "Gluten is wheat."
That's her response again?
I'm like, right. No, I know. She's like, cheese doesn't have gluten in it. I'm like, I know. I'm gluten free. I know what does and doesn't have gluten in it.
Did you put cornstarch in the queso or no, bitch? Like,
so finally we're just like, you know what?
Ever.
Bring me the queso. But I just like, I keep replaying this interaction in my head. I'm like, what was that? What? Like,
all she had to say was like, no, we don't add anything with gluten in it. I don't know why it's like that on the menu. You can order it. Like, it would have been 2 seconds. Some people just have no business working with the public because if you get that frustrated that quickly, you're not going to survive. Like, go work an office job if you don't know how to answer a direct question without being a fucking bitch.
God. Like,
What
I
the
know.
fuck?
Oh my God. It just I keep replaying it over and over in my head. I don't even know what Allie said to her.
Because you blacked out because you were so like, what?
I couldn't process. I'm like, this isn't real. Like, there's no way she's trying to tell me, someone who has declared that I don't eat gluten, what gluten is. Like, there's just no way.
I will be very truthful in saying that, like, people have asked me if things are gluten-free whenever I worked in the service industry all the time. That, like, genuinely, like, why would you ask that? But now, like, I don't know. If it, now, in these days and age, if it doesn't say GF, I just assume something is added because you just don't know. Or it's, like, processed in a facility that also has gluten or, like, whatever. Because some people are just so sensitive.
That's what I kept thinking. Like, imagine if I was celiac and I had been since birth, and now this bitch is trying to tell me what gluten is. Like,
yeah.
No. Anyway, I keep replaying.
We had a similar situation. So, I was on a bachelorette trip this weekend, and it was so much fun in 30A. And we went to this restaurant called the Surfing Deer, which is, I think it's in Seaside. I don't know, one of the S's.
Okay.
And it was so good. The food was amazing. But we had a party of 9, and one of my friends, Tinsley, was like in charge of making the reservations. So Tinsley goes in, and I follow her, and then there's like the group of us, because like Tinsley and I did most of the planning. So I follow her in. We go to this hostess stand. There's 2 ladies there, and she's like, "Hey, I have a party of 9 for Tinsley," and they like look her up. They're like, "Okay, what's your phone number?" And she gives it to them. They look it up, don't see anything. They're like, "Okay, well, we don't see anything under your name. Did you like call and make a reservation?" She was like, "No, I emailed. I've been emailing back and forth with this woman named Nancy, and she confirmed my reservation." They're like, "Can you show us your confirmation? Did you get a text?" And she was like, "No, I didn't get a text. I have her email thread saying that she has confirmed me." And they're like, "Okay." So she pulls it up. And so this was on March 25th. So the very first email from Tinsley says March 26th. The woman's like, "Oh, this is the problem. It's March 26th. That's not today." She was like, "Okay, well, if you look one email down, like, you're closed tomorrow on Sundays." And so we changed it to today when you're open. And so, like, it would have taken 2 more seconds for you to figure that out.
Right.
So she's like, "It actually says March 25th. And that's today at 7. And the woman's like, okay, can you give me your phone number one more time? I just am not seeing it in the system. And then she's like, oh, Tinsley Roberson. And she's like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, I see that your name is popping up, but there is no reservation. Did you give her a credit card? And she says, no. I just got the email confirmation. So they keep going through all the emails. They're like double checking and everything. And she was like, listen, well, the good thing is it is 7. There are 9 of us. We've all just gone to the beach all day. The good thing is that we can seat you at 8. We are starving.
What?
We're like, okay. And she's like, but just for future reference, like for next time, make sure you give someone your credit card information. And I said, did y'all ask for her credit card information?
Right. That's not on her.
And she said, Tinsley said, no. And I don't know the procedure. I've never been here before. Like, we're both just like, you've got us fucked up. Like, you have the wrong bitches. Like, I'm sorry. We're eating here. Like, literally we are.
Like, seriously, what's her name? Nancy. That's her fault.
Yeah.
Don't be coming for the customers when your bitch fucked up.
Exactly.
Like,
and we have the email receipts so that you're reading the interaction. Good, we got you down for 7 p.m. on March 25th. What's your question?
No, at that point, you just say,
we're so sorry.
Looks like, yeah, that was an issue, but we will work it out because this was our mistake.
Correct.
Like, don't fucking, ew.
And all of this, and when we went to the bar, got drinks, got appetizers. We get sat at our table at 8. The room is empty. We were the only table in the room. And we're like, all of that for you to have an empty restaurant at 8 p.m., like, all you had to do was apologize. Number one, where was the fucking apology? All you had to do was say, like, we're going to comp you an appetizer at the bar, go grab some drinks. We'll have this set up for you as soon as we can at 8. We're so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you didn't give her your credit card. No, ma'am. I do not understand.
Like, that's not your job to figure out how someone else needs to do their job.
I was just cracking up. Tinsley was like, well, I don't know the procedure.
No, they got the wrong one.
Besides, I mean, that was like not drama. It was just like really funny. And it was just like another example of people who need to figure out how to operate in the public service setting. But the trip was really, really fun. Like, we had a good time. Maybe too good of a time. But
and it looked
really
like you guys had like pretty good weather too.
Yeah, it was like the perfect mix of getting really sunny at some points, but then also cloudy. So you had like a break from like pouring sweat. I'm just like really not a beach girl.
Yeah.
I don't like love laying there and sweating. And so whenever the clouds would come and it was windy, I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I don't love the beach, and that's that. But so that was this past weekend, and then this week you had a birthday and a little bit more going on.
Yes. Okay, so I came home on Sunday violently hungover on Sunday, and then on Monday I actually had to get my first treatment of radiation. I got keloids on my ears, which is so funny because someone going into radiation oncology at this age having to get radiation is wild. So I got this surgery on my ears like in 2019. The best surgery I've ever gotten. Like, cannot recommend it enough. But I just had a reaction to the sutures, and now I had these like huge like growths on my ear, so I had to get those removed by the dermatologist. And then the same morning, so like Monday, I went to the dermatologist, got them like removed, went straight to the radiation oncology office, got radiation Monday, and then I had to get it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So today was my last day. So I'm all done. And I'm feeling good about it. They're a little bit sore still just from the removal.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling good. And then my birthday was on Tuesday. So we went and got dinner with some med school friends. And then we also went to dinner last night with some more med school friends, actually. But just 4 of us, like a double date last night, which was really fun.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling 27. I'm not feeling any different except for a little sleepy. But that's probably because the weekend.
It's still catching up to you.
Yeah.
So Ashlyn was texting me on their way home on Sunday, and she's I'm not doing well, like we got a little crazy, whatever. And I was like, oh, did anybody go overboard, get too drunk? And she said, yeah, me.
I will say I had 2 friends that helped me not look as bad, because we were all literally so bad. We were all just hanging out in the bathroom floor waiting for karma to hit us, and we were just hanging out, and it was 2 a.m. We went to bed at 3 and had to be out of the Airbnb by 10, but we were out at 9:15, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kept tracking your location because I think I had something I wanted to ask you, but I didn't want to first of all, I did know your state of mind because I got a Snapchat the night before, which I opened on Sunday morning, and it's you celebrating walking up the stairs, and the caption just says, I'm blacked. So I did know your state on Sunday morning, but I kept checking your location to see if you had left yet, because I didn't want to be asking you questions. I think I had to ask you something about the podcast.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be asking you questions if you were unwell. And I saw that you were at the Donut Hole, so I thought, and then I saw you posted on Instagram. Yeah, it looked really good. I thought, okay, she'll get a little bit of food.
I did get my
I'll
10
text
a.m.
her.
Dr. Pepper there, and it was great. It saved the day for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, there were still some rocky times. It's just not good in the car being already sick to your stomach. But luckily I was with 2 doctors and they had Zofran, and so I just took some Zofran, called it a day, came home, and I slept.
Nice.
But my sister was finishing moving out that night, so I had seen her, which was nice, but I was just not helpful at all.
Yeah.
And slept, and then so I think I'm just still paying the piper for that.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's not like you really had too much going on this week that you
But
had
anyone
to be.
listening who's younger, this is 27. You cannot go drink for 3 days at the beach and eat to excess every day as well and expect to feel 100% even 4 days later. There's no way.
No. It really just takes a toll. I don't drink anymore, but I had gotten to that point where you feel so bad for so long,
it's just not worth it sometimes.
And you did that damage in a matter of hours, and for what?
I know. I texted Katie. I was I'm literally done drinking. I mean, I had drinks on my birthday night, so it's totally a lie. But I was I literally can't do this anymore. So we'll see. This is the year of drinking less for sure. For general health reasons. I'm actually doing a lot of things to work on my health. Maybe not a ton, but
you are.
I have tried to change into a clean girly. So I ordered the Branch Basics set this week. It should be in tomorrow, I think. Just getting rid of all my toxic cleaning chemicals, and I'm gonna get new hair care, and then we're pending on new makeup. I just feel all of the clean brands I have tried have been absolute trash. So if anyone has any recommendations, I'm all ears. Katie said a couple.
Yeah, it really is difficult, and there's a few brands that are fantastic, which I am not a makeup guru, or I don't have to have the very best products or the
well, that's because you have dry skin though, because if mine is not good product, it will slide off.
Yeah, no, that's so true. So for me, even still, finding clean brands, it really is difficult, especially with marketing these days. People can say whatever they want about a product, and it just is not true. It's not clean. There's some of these products that claim to be clean, or they have the word green in them. It's
a lot of times just bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's hard to know. And then especially because a lot of the brands that are clean, you have to purchase online. They're not sold at Ulta or at Walmart or CVS.
That's actually the hardest part for me, is
makeup.
whenever I'll run out of my eyebrow pencil, I usually don't have time to order that shit online. I'm out. I need to go to Walmart and grab whatever kind they have. So that'll take me a while. I just probably need to order like 2 at a time and just have a backstock.
That's true. And also, like, there's no harm in, like, from time to time having a backup pencil, like if you run out or something. But it really is just so difficult finding your correct shade. Like, I recently got a shade that's probably not, like, my best shade, but
like a foundation.
Paid for it. It was concealer, and
can you not return
it's just
it?
like, I could, but the thing is that I ordered it right before I left to go to Indy for my trade show, and I, like, literally had to have it.
So
like,
you used a lot of it.
yeah, I can't return it at this point in time. Like, she's used. So it's really not the end of the world. Like, it still works for me, but next time I will get a different shade that I will feel a little bit better about. But it's just difficult. Like, you can't see things in person. You can't swatch things or, like, fill out a formula or anything like that. So it is hard, but it's all just trial and error, really.
Yeah. And I, like, don't really want to make time for that. I have the time. I just don't want to, like, turn my free time into, like, trying out all of this shit and then, like, probably losing money on it. If it doesn't work out, I can't return it. So anyway, I was so excited. I got to the store while we were at the beach this weekend. I got this, like, glow stick from Supergoop, which is, like, kind of renowned as a clean brand. I'm, like, rubbing it all over my face. I'm, like, living. It's so good. It's a good product. And I text Katie. I'm like, oh, my God, Clean Girl Hours. Like, it's my new, like, sunscreen, whatever. Which, like, I just need to wear sunscreen in general. So it's not, like whatever. So I was so excited. And she's like, yeah, that's just, like, not one of their cleanest products. Because she has, like, a forum where she can see, like, I guess, the ingredients or whatever. And this one is not even listed on there as, like, one of the clean options.
Yeah.
And I'm like slathering my face in it every morning.
Okay, but like Goop makes good products. So, or they select a select few good products. So it's probably better than Neutrogena or Coppertone or whatever else. I would dare to say, I don't know. So like I literally could be just making this up, but I would dare to say you're like a step ahead for sure.
Okay. I'll take that. It's all on progress and making the changes, you know, whatever. I'll work on my food consumption later. Just one step at a time. And I feel like that's a step in the right direction because I was just using, I can't even remember what kind it was. Some kind of drugstore.
That's honestly like the best way to do it. That's the only way you can do it. It's so overwhelming.
Unless you're rich.
Unless you're rich and unless you have like an expert on hand who can tell you this stuff, like you just have to learn as you go. So that's all that we all can really do. Like,
I feel like no one talks about that though. Like all the Instagram girlies are like, you're ruining your hormones with blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, can we talk about how it's going to cost me $2,000 to replace all of my toxic products?
Literally.
I'm not going to go start a GoFundMe so that I can feel better about my endocrine system.
Right. Like, you can only do so much, which, by the way, I don't think I told you that me and Hoyt had a conversation last weekend where he was like, I feel like I'm, like, getting more into it now, because before he just thought, like, I literally was, like, a voodoo girl, like, practicing witchcraft.
Oh, that's how it always happens, though.
Yeah. But last weekend he admitted to like coming around onto some things. We'll see. I'm not going to press the issue because you know, as soon as you kind of like try and really hammer down on things, they back up and they're like, whoa, I never said that. You know?
Do I? Do I? So let's talk about, me and Katie have delved into this concept so many times, but okay. So we both were listening to this book called Deep Nutrition a while back, like 2 years ago. Loved it. It had like a lot of really good pearls about how to eat healthy and how to like do all this stuff. And it was, I would say it was like mostly focused on fats and proteins and like limit your carb intake and like really limit processed food and all this stuff. And so like I was gung ho. Like there's data in there. There's really good recipes in there. I was like, let's do this. Like I really want to go for it. Jacob Gober was not having it. He was like, absolutely not. There's nothing wrong with this. Like, as long as you're eating at a good calorie content, like, you're not going to gain weight, which I'm not saying that that's wrong, but that's not really what I was going for. I was like, I really want to eat for my health and like all this stuff. And then that was like right before he started really listening to like nutrition podcasts like Huberman and the other guy that I can't remember his name. And like Rogan had on some people that talked about like carnivore diet and like all that stuff, Liver King, like whatever. Right. And now he's coming at me. This is 2 years later down the line. And he's like, well, you should eat red meat and liver and blah, blah. And I'm like, where was this energy whenever I was trying to tell you?
Like, but that's like, so funny that you bring that up because
I have been saying
I've been saying that.
Yeah. And to be honest, like in all fairness, I have not put many of those talking points into practice. Like I haven't tried a piece of liver. I actually have increased my red meat consumption without feeling bad about it. Like I know like everyone's like, oh my God, your cholesterol, but like totally has been normal every time I've gotten it checked. So I feel like, and like eggs and like real butter, you know, just like certain things have really stuck with me. But overall, I still eat probably more of the processed food than I should. So like knowing something and putting it into practice are two very different things. So I can't really like be offended. Like I'm eating a bowl of Trix and he's telling me I should eat liver, and I don't really have a right to be offended because I haven't made the change yet, you know what I mean? But it is very interesting what you said about like he's coming around to it now, but they have to do it on their own terms because you can't like force someone to believe what you believe.
Well, the thing for Hoyt, his whole argument, because I went through the exact same thing, he's like, no, like you're crazy, like I'm not gonna do that, so expensive, blah 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 blah. His thing is that he's always eaten and trained to like perform as an athlete. Like I said, like he played baseball and like professionally. So he has always said like the Los Angeles Dodgers told me this, like they're a professional sports organization. Right. Like they told me
because they hire like private chefs that really know what they're doing. And
yes. Yeah. Like all of their food when he played was all organic. Every bit of it. They had a private chef that cooked them 3 meals a day. It really was fantastic, but I'm just like, soon I'm going to start talking about the FDA, and then we're really going to get into it. I don't want to go there.
Okay, fine. But all this to say, if we were way richer, going clean and eating clean would be a non-issue.
Cake. Oh, yeah. Like, you would not catch me. I'd have all Caraway cookware. I would have absolutely no plastic Tupperware, no plastic anything, cups, plates.
It would be, yes.
Nothing like that. Like, I would repaint my house with non-toxic paint. But, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm a lay person. I can't just, like, dump my life savings into going non-toxic, you know?
Yeah, it's too much. So, anyway, little by little, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah, we're slowly but surely chipping away, and
I am excited about it to come in though, because you said that you like, even though it's like unscented, like it smells like really clean and good, and like I would rather. I think I would use it more often if it didn't smell like so chemically. Like I hate when my kitchen smells like cleaning stuff.
Yeah, and now I've realized I'm so much more sensitive to cleaning smells. Like I told you a couple weeks ago, when I walk around my neighborhood and I can smell people's like exhaust from their like washing dryer stuff, it gives me a headache and it makes me nauseous whenever I like smell those things. Whereas before I would just walk past it and think, oh, that smells good. Now it literally makes me feel sick. It's really insane.
I still love walking past the laundry person on the road.
And I'm sure that I would too. It's just like we don't use that in our home. It's not my normal anymore.
Yeah,
and so
it's like a shock to the system.
Now, yeah, my body's like, girl, what is that? don't.
Yeah, like we're not doing that anymore. We canceled that.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, that's really exciting. Yes.
Yeah,
what else
I'm
did you
very
have going
excited.
On? Oh my God, baby girl turned 1.
Oh yes, my sweet, beautiful angel niece
who looks
had her birthday
like
last
a
weekend.
Carbon copy of Katie. It's actually insane.
Yeah.
You can tell she wouldn't have it any other way.
I could not be happier about the fact that like this girl looks like me. She has like a little bit darker hair. I was blonde as a baby, and she has
And
like
it's curly.
brown
It's giving an
slash.
ash, but go ahead.
Yeah, yes. I wish I had curls as a baby. So
Oh my God, okay.
yeah, and she has like the most gorgeous blue eyes, and the girl looks just like me. There's
Just
one
like
photo. There's a photo from her birthday party. I texted it to Kelsey, and I was like, "Is this not me?" She was like, "It's scary. Like it looks exactly like me." And I've always thought mine and Hoyt's children would look exactly like him. Like I just felt like he had really strong genes. This gives me hope that
Yes.
my genes will somehow power through.
Well, because they
And-
powered through your brothers and his wives. They came out the
exactly.
woodwork.
So, yeah. So, anyway, it was a gorgeous weekend. We got to celebrate her. So she and her brother have birthdays. His birthday is the 22nd. Hers is the 24th, and then Austin, Kelsey's husband, is the 26th, and then you are the 28th. So all these
Aries
birthdays so easy for me
queens.
to remember.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of Aries, so now
So-
Jake's we have birthdays exactly 2 weeks apart. So in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing the birthday thing all over again. I think, does he turn 30? No.
No,
He turns
29.
29. Okay. Whew. Okay.
Yeah, you would have known if he turned 30.
I don't know. He doesn't do birthdays.
Yeah, but we would have told
Oh,
you. Like,
correct. Yeah, the girls
you would have known
The
because
girls
we-
would have had my back.
yeah, absolutely. So you would have known, but yeah, you guys get to just do like bang bang birthday gang.
Yeah, so we should have a group one. So you said it's me, Austin, Sylvie.
Yeah.
Somebody
and
else.
her older brother.
Oh, well, never mind. They can have a
You
conjoined
could
one.
have just come.
Me and Austin can have a conjoined one. And Jake, because this is still in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Right. They went to Nashville for Austin's birthday. You should have
That
put him
looked
up and-
really, really fun. I was at that bachelorette trip, though.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of had like a little bit of a B-Day celebration, even though it was like totally not about you. But
Yeah, not in
still,
any way,
you got
shape, or
to
form.
partake.
However, as the person who like helped plan, I did feel like I had a lot of pressure on me that weekend. And so like a lot of people kept just like thanking me for stuff. So I was like, oh my God, you're so welcome. It's our birthday.
Oh, you still got your praise. The praise that you deserved.
One thing about me, words of affirmation, I love them.
it.
Love.
Love it. Yeah. No,
Yes.
that's funny.
Okay, anything else? We had like a kind of a roundabout way of talking about literally everything that's happened to us.
Okay, you've brought up a couple times before, like, that you feel like you overshare. I do not feel that way
Oh my
about
God.
you at all.
Oh my God, no. That like these girls that I met this weekend, like I'm sure they wished I would shut up. Like a lot of the girls that were on the bachelorette trip are friends of my friends from medical school. They're her friends from like high school. So I've never met them, and they probably know all my exes. They probably know what car I drove in high school. They probably know that I was on the cheer team. So, you know, like I'm just an open book, and I can't shut up. Like there's not going to be a moment of silence unless I'm really sleepy. Like I'm the type of person, if I'm in the mood that you were in the car, I'll be on my phone and like I will not be responding to you at all, or I'll be
Yeah.
like in my room. Like there were a couple times where I would just go upstairs and like decompress in my room.
Yeah.
If I'm out of my room, I'm ready to talk.
Oh
And
my
that's
gosh,
just
I
a
just
little bit
don't
about
feel that
me.
way about you.
Really?
Like, I feel like some people really overshare, and you're like, that was way too, like, personal to share. I do not feel that way about you
Jake
at
feels
all.
that way
like,
about me for surezies. For surezies. But that's okay. Like to each their own. He married me. I obviously don't do it enough to piss him off. But I feel like whenever I learn new profound things about my friends that are my close friends, I genuinely feel a little disappointed that I didn't already know it. Like for instance,
Yeah.
today, Katie had sent me a video of her like acting out something like as a joke. And I said like, you know what? It is such a disservice, or it was like a huge missed opportunity that you did not do theater in high school. And that was an assumption based off the fact that Katie was head bitch in charge in high school. She was calling people losers to their faces. Like she was she was like not who I would picture to do theater.
Yeah.
She sends me back a video of she sounded a little offended, but this is her fault that she didn't tell me, that she was in a play as like, she was like some cheerleader in a county-wide play, not just like for her high school, with photo evidence.
Yeah.
There is no reason that I should have not heard about that in the last 8 years.
Okay, like, that's fair. It's actually not something that comes to mind literally ever, but you did strike a nerve today when you said, like, you should have done theater. Like, first of all, let me back up and say, like, no, I shouldn't have done theater. Like, that was, in my mind, like, I played sports. I did not. It was, babe, it was literally High School Musical. Like, stick to the status quo. I was sticking to the status quo.
That was the musical that she was in. She
it.
was in High School Musical, the musical.
Right. So what happened was I did competitive cheerleading for just like this team, not affiliated with the school, but it was more so there was like girls from all over the county or like general area was on my cheer team. And the counselor, the guidance counselor at my school was the girl who was like over the county-wide play. So the counselor, knowing that the sponsor of the cheer team, like her daughter also went to our school, she just reached out to my cheer coach and was like, hey, do you have a few girls who would like want to play the cheerleaders? Because you did have to do like cheers and stunts and stuff, so you couldn't have just like any theater kid doing like, these like stuff. Cheer moves. Yeah, you needed to
full
have
on basket
toss
like, in the photo. Nice.
Exactly. So she just asked, we said yes. Trust me, we weren't like good at it. We didn't have, no one had a speaking role. All we did was get up, do like a quick like 2 8 counts dance, and then at the end we did All in This Together with everybody. And yes, bitch.
Wow,
I killed it.
That's so
I
great.
did.
I know you did. There was this video of Katie when she was a cheerleader on C Team, eating the girlies up. Like, she knew every single point of the routine. She was so sharp. She was so with it. And the people around her were falling apart. Like, these are 5-year-olds. So, like, obviously they don't know. But Katie, she said, like,
oh my God.
The video was so funny because, like, she knows the dance and she knew she hit the moves. But the way a 5-year-old moves is a little different. An adult cheerleader would do that, or you're not adult, but you know, like a high school cheerleader. This was the funniest little video of Katie, and so to know that you got to debut those skills like in front of a crowd, it just sits right with me.
Yeah, no, it was good, and like I slayed the toe touch at the beginning.
Oh my God, the photo. Oh my gosh, she was the point on the V formation. She, like, the toes were pointed, the legs were up. The face was, this is the thing. Competition cheerleaders, the face has to be up when you're hitting the toe touch. And that's a hard thing to do. And you were smiling. Oh my God, it was such a good picture.
I had it, yeah. But just let it be known, I wasn't like a theater kid. I just like, because the thing was, you got to miss school, right? Like, they did the play at like 8 a.m. for like a week. So I didn't have to go to school until noon for like a week, literally.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Well, that's really worth it. Yeah, so my school was like not so segregated as your school. Like, I took theater as a extracurricular, and a couple of my friends did as well. And I was also in the skit days and a couple of the other, I don't know, whatever other plays we did. And so we had definitely people who were like theater kids. Like, that's what they did as their hobby. Like, they would go to like the state theater competition and they were great.
Yeah.
But I was still integrated, and I still did slay on skit day.
Oh, I bet you did. I'm sure you did. What roles were you in?
I was like one of the main characters in this one skit. They were shorter. I think they were like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But I was the main character, and I was like the popular girl who was at school. It was like the play was set at school. And then I can't remember the other ones. I think the other ones I just had a couple cameos, but I always had like speaking roles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so
but like I'm not like, I find that whenever I'm watching something that's theatrical, it's a little bit more believable whenever it's not so overboard. Yeah. And so a lot of people like didn't want me in there, I think, because I'm not gonna like be so crazy. I'm just gonna like be my normal level of theatrical, which is still, I feel like, enough. So I was not like the person like overdoing it. I was just like kind of being myself, but with lines, with like whatever, practice lines.
So did you like perform the skits like in front of the whole school, or was this just like
the whole school?
Okay.
Yeah.
That is so funny. We definitely didn't have anything like that, which I went to like the smallest high school. Tiny. That was not, that wasn't the vibe.
Y'all had like 80 people, right?
Yeah, I think we graduated with like 89 people. And I would say that was like average for like a grade at our school, because like the grade above us had like over 100 students, and they consider that like a large grade. So ours was like pretty average.
And then Jessica was below y'all, and she had 83. I remember. So
okay, yeah. So it was. We just had like two totally different high school experiences.
For the non-Etowah County, non-Alabama people, this is a public school. Like this is not like a private small school. This is like there's smaller schools in our county, but it's tiny. Like I was in one of the bigger county schools, and I was like 170, so it was not like a huge difference.
Yeah, but our school experiences were very,
very different. Well, you guys didn't even have a soccer team.
No, but they did get one after I graduated, which I was pissed about, because I wanted to play soccer, but
I feel like it's a cool sport. I wanted to play too, and then it turns out like I'm like really bad at soccer, so I just like I still played freshman year, but I ended up never playing again. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can pick up really easily as an older child, because the hand-eye and foot-eye coordination skills are like so far behind everyone else. Like if you played club soccer and then you put me up against them, like I'm getting demolished. There's no chance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like a tough sport in general. So.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Anyway, did you have anything else from the month that you wanted to catch up on?
I don't really think so. I can't think of anything else. I think I pretty much updated everyone.
Yeah, I feel like we covered it. We're sorry, there's a bug in here that keeps landing on my face. We've got an hour and 17 minutes of us talking about nothing, so I feel like we can move on.
Yes.
So we only have...
Go ahead.
We only have one more little like section that we're going to do, and it is book related. So we're just going to talk about like things that we have read recently, what we thought about it. Spoiler free. So
spoiler free.
Don't feel like nervous to listen or anything. We'll try to do our best to not give anything away, but this is just like a little bit less formal and shorter than our book episodes. We're not going to go into detail. So what you been reading this month?
It's been a slow month with everything with Match. I've just like been crazy, but I was recommended by Katie to read this book called Icebreaker. Y'all, I can't get through it. I'm trying my best. I'm reading it chapter by chapter. There's just no plot. But what I have found is I decided to tandem read it alongside The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which is a little older. I think it was like came out in like 2017 or something, but it had like a big moment. I think it might have a movie.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if it had a movie. I remember
no, The Girl on the Train has a movie. Anyways, it had like a big name.
Okay.
So the other day I started it, and I was at the beach, and I posted a picture of it, and I had like 5 people respond saying, "This is the best book ever. It's so good. It's so suspenseful." I genuinely think that Book Talk has ruined me on reading normal novels. Like, especially ones written by a man. Because this shit could not be drier. And I don't mean, like, sexually. Like, of course, there's, like, no romance, which is, like, not my favorite thing. But that's not what I mean. Like, the descriptions are so bland. The story moves so quickly. Like... But, like, there's no, like, I haven't gotten to the place where there's, like, real content as far, it's supposed to be a mystery or something, or a thriller, I think. I'm on page, like, 145, and I cannot, like, I haven't had a moment where I've sat down and I've felt like, okay, I'm just going to read for a couple hours. Like I just need to like really, really, really get into it.
Yeah.
And that usually happens with thrillers for me. Like the second time I pick it up, like I'm usually like hooked.
Yeah.
But ever since I have been reading fantasy, like I just can't do that anymore. But I found that like going back and forth with chapters, because so one book is all spice, no plot. And the other one is all plot, no spice. So it's just
spice, yeah.
I'm trying to weave back and forth. I'm not obsessed with either one.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to just get them over with so that I can get back to fantasy.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Let it be known that I did recommend Icebreaker to Ashlyn with the disclaimer, like, if you just need to be, like, brain dead reading something just for spice,
well, it's just not
read
that,
the Icebreaker.
It's just not that short.
No, and there truly is not a plot. Like, when I tell you there were no moments where my heart rate went up, or I was stressed out, or like, oh no, what's going to happen next? Like, not one. It's
There's not a ton on the table here. Like usually for rom-coms, it's like they meet or they have a backstory or like something tragic happens that brings them together. Like none of that. None of that.
No, and yeah, but it's spicy. It's got lots and lots and lots of spice.
I was trying to explain this to my friends at the beach this weekend too, because a couple of them had like Colleen Hoover and Emily Henry books. And they're like, oh, we're reading spicy books. And I was like, yeah, I know y'all are, but this shit is on a different level. Like I just finished a sex scene. I'm reading the next couple pages. Boom, another one 3 pages later. Like just back to back. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
yeah,
nothing has happened between. They have simply moved locations.
It is literally a series of times where these people have sex and there's like a little bit of a story in between. Not much. Like you don't really get to know them well.
No.
Or there's not like an overarching like theme. There's just like breaks between the times where they are having sex.
Yes. Small, very small breaks.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't want anybody to think that I was like, oh my God.
Like such a good book of the year.
Icebreaker.
Like
No, I would, by the way, I would never recommend any book that was not a fantasy book for book of the year. Like, period. That's, you know.
Yes, literally. What about you? What have you been up to?
Have you read anything else?
No, I haven't gone through them.
Oh, okay. Okay. So for me, I did an update after I finished Daughter of No Worlds, book 3. Again, that's not the name of the book. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Anyway, I did finish the series. It was very good. Overall, it was not my favorite, but it is one that's worth reading if you like fantasy, and it's got like a really good storyline. It's got one character that is like so freaking good. It's worth the read for sure. I do like other fantasy series more, but this is like a top one, I would say.
Okay.
So, that's kind of my review on that. And then, next I did read the Shadow and Bone series, because Hoyt watched the TV show and I was under the impression that it was fantasy romance and that it would be a great series. Like I've seen it on TikTok.
People are dying over the Six of Crows, which is apparently in that same world.
Yeah. So I started reading it and it really, like, here's the thing. The story was great and I thought it was like totally fine, but there's not romance, and I didn't realize how much I would miss that, because like books have kind of a general format, like something happens at the beginning and then there's like a little bit of a lull, then there's like a turning point in the middle, and then like it follows that. But those like in between times where things aren't so dramatic, fantasy romance, that's where they fit in the romance part of
Correct.
things.
Yes.
And Shadow and Bone, like, I don't want to say there's not romance, because there's romance, but there is nothing. Like, it's barely anything at all. So I was just bored in the in between times.
Okay.
And
So like it was like they
I
were
would
in a battle
recommend,
or that nothing is happening.
right, right. Then it's just like this in between, like, I don't know. I would definitely recommend it if you're fine not having romance. But if you really enjoy the romance aspect of things, I actually don't recommend the books. Like, if you want to know the story, I've heard that the TV show and the books are different, but like, watch the TV show. I think it's like pretty, it's close enough. And genuinely, I was supposed to read Six of Crows next, and like, I don't know if I can do it, because someone said that there's less romance in Six of Crows than there is in Shadow and Bone. So I just,
Okay.
it was like, I'm not a girl who looks at page count, like to see what page I'm on nonstop. I was like, okay, only 180 pages left. Okay, only 166 pages
Counting
left.
down till
Like,
you're done with the series.
yes, and that's my own fault. Like, I should have just stopped reading the books, but
Yeah, that's what Jake keeps telling me about
anyway.
Icebreaker too. He's like, just stop, or sorry, not Icebreaker. The girl with the dragon tattoo. He's like, just stop reading it. And I'm like, everyone says it's the best book ever. Like, I have to keep going. And he the other day looked at me in the face
Yeah.
and said, every time you have read a book that everyone says is the best, you've hated it. Case in point, crawdads.
Oh my god.
What the fuck? Like, what is everyone's obsession? But I loved Verity, and everyone said that that was good. So
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that this will start picking up. There's also this like weird thing where it's set in Sweden, I think. And
Okay.
so a lot of the words are not American. Like they're English, but they're not the
Yeah.
American English. And so like jail, they keep saying jail. GAOL. As in a jail, like a
okay.
prison. So like just like
Okay.
little stuff like that, and like instead of saying Mr., they say her, HERR, and I had to Google it because I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like I'm complaining about like these words I don't really understand and like it being in a different country that I don't know, when I literally read books with made up things and made up words
Quite
and made
literally.
up worlds
Quite literally.
and don't complain about it. So I really just think it's the writing.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's kind of like in those times. I use the feature on my Kindle. I'm doing that in air quotes if you're not
Miss
watching
QVC.
this on YouTube. Yes, Miss QVC. I use the feature where you can like hold down a word and it'll tell you the definition or like the
Okay.
translation. I use that all the time, and I always think like, if I was reading this in a physical book, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, I have to swap headphones. This one's
Anyway.
like bothering. My ears are so
oh yeah, no.
sore from this
Oh,
stupid.
I bet. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. But yeah, that's like kind of. I have like, you have been storming through books as you do, and I'm like in the
Yeah.
driest month in probably a year as far as like reading.
Yeah. I feel like you've been reading those two books for
Weeks.
forever.
For 2 weeks.
But yeah. So anyway, I finished Shadow and Bone. I immediately read our book, King of Battle and Blood, for April. I won't say anything about it because
I'm glad
I
you
will
wrote.
give my
did
full
you,
review.
Okay, I'm glad that you read it. I need to reread it. I think I'm gonna have to do that next. Like I need something that I know I'm
Yeah.
gonna like and that I know is like fantasy. I just need
Yeah.
the Fae back in my life. But I did go to Barnes and Noble whenever I got The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I also got this one called Hooked. I've been seeing it all over TikTok.
I've seen that.
Yes, I've been seeing
Yeah.
it all over TikTok and all this stuff. Can I give you one spoiler? It's just about the world. It's not like an actual plot
Okay.
spoiler.
Okay.
So on the front it says a never after novel.
Okay.
Okay. Whenever I saw someone tag it on TikTok, they said it's like a Peter Pan retelling? Adult version? But that doesn't seem right. So now I'm like, Hooked is like the main character, Captain Hook.
Shut up. Okay.
But I'll get back to you. I just am like, because Never
Yeah.
After and Captain Hook, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, this could go one of two ways.
Totally. Once you start bringing Disney into it, I might be out. Like,
I hope
for
Nana's in it.
real. Oh yeah, you'll
Yeah.
have to keep us updated
will,
on
I
that one. I
will.
have seen that on TikTok.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I read King of Battle and Blood, which reading that after Shadow and Bone was exactly what I needed. I was texting you like I'd have to have something that's like a reprieve from the Shadow and Bone.
Yeah.
Just lack of, and she got me right is
Yes,
all that I
good.
will say.
Good.
And then another thing I wanted to bring up about that is it's on Kindle Unlimited, and when we decided that this would be the April book, we didn't know that. And
Yeah, it just
so
so
now
happens
it's
we
the
keep
second
picking
book.
them.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. If you subscribe to Kindle Unlimited, then you get to read the book, quote unquote, for free.
Yeah.
But we aren't going, that's not like the goal is to continue to choose books that are only on Kindle Unlimited. I just wanted to state that so that people don't think like it's
We're gonna run out of
limited
good ones soon.
to,
Like, it's not.
right.
We have
Right.
we have
it was
no
just a
connection to
coincidence.
Kindle Unlimited. Like, we will.
Yeah.
It just it's happenstance.
yeah, exactly.
I had one more thing before we wrap up. Did you see? So we talked about last time that SJM was doing like the new book or whatever, but she hadn't been announced. It was like the Bloomsbury like announcement. But now she has announced like on her actual Instagram that the release date is sadly correct, January 30th. But did you see the video?
I did see the video, unfortunately.
Okay, let's talk about it because this girl was like, assistant, come video me. I'm gonna like type out the new title or whatever. So it, like on her computer screen it says Crescent City 3. She backspaces it. Back. And then she types, you're watching her, you're like, okay, let's get to the point. And then she types out the title. I can't even remember what it was. One of the fire ones, right?
House of Shadow and Flame.
House of Shadow and Flame. She types capital H, space, capital O, space. And then after house, she puts 5 spaces. And this is going
Oh my god.
so incredibly slow. The whole video has to be over a minute long. It is so long. I was like, babes, put on 2x.
Literally, like, it was, I get trying to, like, make it suspenseful. It was cringe. Like, it leaned too far into the suspense where I was like, no, like, I don't even care anymore. I literally don't even care what the name of the book is
No,
at this
and
point.
the execution was on like -10 for me. I was like, oh my god, this is like so bad. But people were zooming in on the word count. I think it's gonna be like 1,200 pages. Like the shit looks. I can't remember what the word count was, but it was insane. And then what else was I gonna say about that? Oh, I was looking at the comments, and someone was like, "Damn, no wonder it's taking you so long to finish it." Took you 20 minutes to type out the title.
Oh, that's good.
Like,
that's good. The comments are
video-
always
I
the
know.
best.
I know. The comments are so good. I will say, like, in my little 5 minutes of fame on TikTok, like, the girlies in the comments. I don't know. Okay, so let me just preface by saying I do not have a TikTok following. Like, there's no reason my video should have gotten that many likes or comments or whatever. So, like, I had, like, 60 followers on TikTok. So, like, if someone comments on my shit, I'm going to see it. I'm not, like, one of those people that are getting millions of comments. So, I'm looking at them. And they thought they were going to get away with saying whatever they wanted with no rebuttal. But, like I said, I just turned 27. I have been roasting bitches on the internet for longer than some of y'all could read and write. I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm back in my MySpace bullying era. Like, you're going to come bully me, I'm going to bully you back. And I was kind of getting likes on my
got to go. Okay, I've got to go check out what was going down because you did get like a lot of comments on them too,
I know.
and I didn't have
most
an
of them are people
to
just being like super nice, like we can't wait to hear like where to go, like such like uplifting things, and then randomly there would just be like someone stupid saying like dumb shit, and I was like, oh my god, like, please exit stage left. And it's so funny that like you're gonna comment mean shit on a TikTok. Because engagement is engagement. So now all of your followers are going to see this. Mm-hmm. And thank you.
Exactly. Like, that's how I even feel about, like, the podcast. Like, even if people who, like, I don't know that we're old enough. I mean, that we're young enough still to have, like, enemies. But if someone didn't like us and they just, like, clicked on our YouTube video to make fun of us, like, thank you. That was a view for us.
I'm loving every single view. I'm celebrating each one.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely need to go dig through your comments on the TikToks and see what people were saying. And it's not too late for me to write back.
It really ain't. It's never too late.
So we will see. But anyway, all right. I did have one last thing I wanted to say in terms of books. So first of all, well, no. Not first of all. Carissa Broadbent, who wrote our first book, The Serpent and the Wings of Night. The Night?
No, I fucked it up on the other episode. Night. It's not The Night. It's just The Serpent and the Wings of Night.
Okay. Anyway, she has come out with 2 other, like, standalone books. The first one is Six Scorched Roses. I think that's correct. Which is a novella. I'm reading it currently. It's like 187 pages, so short. And she states that it happens like at almost the same point in time as the first book, The Serpent and the Wings of Night. She says, like, if you don't read it, like, you're not missing anything because it's not the same characters, but these characters will come back later on in the series. So I'm giving it a read, but I just wanted to say that book and then the other one that she announced, which is another standalone set in the same world, happening at the same time as the second book, which has not come out yet. We are not going to be covering those books on the podcast, but would obviously encourage you guys to read them if you want more from that world, and it'll give a good background.
Carissa Broadbent puts out.
I totally agree. I will be reading it because I want background on characters that we're going to meet later on in the story. So I'm excited about them. She's doing it really well where she's releasing them just like a couple weeks apart. So you have time to read them before the next one comes out. Mm-hmm. So like the Six Scorched Roses already came out. The actual second book comes out April 14th. And then I want to say the Slaying the Vampire... Killer King anyway,
Conqueror,
that other
Vampire
book.
Conqueror.
But yes, that one comes out. This could be wrong, but I want to say it was something like April 27th or something like that. So I just wanted to state we are not going to be covering those, but I know for myself I will be reading them. And I actually started Six Scorched Roses last night, and this is what I want to say. Trigger warning. If you don't like needles, if you don't like getting your blood drawn in like the modern medical sense, trigger warning. That is literally my number one fear in all of life is like getting a needle put into my arm to draw my blood. It's my number one fear. I didn't know it was coming. Now you know. Like, I still read it, and I'm getting like literally feel like my vision is going like this just talking about it.
God.
I'm so glad I was laying down last night when I read it.
Could you just skip through it? Was like a really important part, or could you just like skim?
No, it wasn't. But the thing is that like I didn't know where to pick back up. Like, yeah. I got through it. Now that I know, I can be a little bit more like on alert about it. But I just wanted to put that out there in case anybody else feels that way, which I know like a lot of these people that listen to this are like your medical school friends, so they probably like think I'm literally
Like,
insane.
okay.
But for me, no, 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 no. And I don't mean blood draw like vampire I literally mean
A needle.
like if you went to the doctor today and asked them to draw your blood like that. So that's all that I had to say.
Okay. Well, that's enlightening, and I'm really excited to read
Yeah.
those. My only thing is she has all these deadlines with all these other books, and they're all coming out together, and I don't think it's going to be soon for the third of the Nyaxia series
Yeah.
to come out. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I going to do until the other one comes out? I guess I could read the Daughter of No Worlds stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I don't want to go that long without her. Like, I just feel like I want to read
I know.
them like a little bit more spaced out than that. Which I don't have a choice because it's
know.
going to take me 2 more weeks to finish fucking Dragon Tattoo.
No, you can do it. You don't have anything going on next week, you said. So
Yeah.
you have plenty of time. But yeah, I feel the same way. And like she's pregnant and she's not like, when is she going to have time to
I don't know. Yeah.
write the next one? So anyway.
Not maternity leave, I'll tell you that.
I feel the same way. I never like want to be without her stuff. So like for now she's spoiling us, but like not really because she's just setting us up to be upset in
Yeah.
a month. So
Well, I just can't wait for the next one,
Anyway.
the one on April 14th. As long as I'm done reading this stuff by
Yep.
then, I'll be happy. But I am going to try to
Oh, you
read
should
the
be.
6 Scorched Roses before that.
yeah. Yeah. It's on Kindle Unlimited too. So is
Oh, heck
the
yeah. Okay.
Slaying the Vampire Conqueror.
Oh,
So
our Kindle Unlimited Queen. I love her.
yep.
All right. Well, I think that wraps us up. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Katie and I just talked for an hour and 40 minutes by accident about literally nothing. So if you've made it to this point, we love you. We love you. We love you. This
Yes.
was originally the book club podcast that won't put you to sleep, but I guess right now it's just a talk show. We're so excited to have this podcast. We're available on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. Also on YouTube, if you're watching there, just please like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, please. And then if you have any feedback you want to submit to us or books you want us to read, you can email us at theclubgirlies@gmail.com, or you can just DM us on Instagram. We are Girlies of the Club on Instagram. Just thank y'all so much.
All right. See you guys. Bye.